Welcome back everyone to the Blender Creator course, Stylized 3D Models, and this is where we left it off. Alright, so let's now put it onto, material mode, and what we'll do then is we'll come to this one here, and I'm going to grab this, so Alt, Shift and click. Well, what I want to do is I want to grab it from the bottom, going all the way to the top, like so. And then what I want to do is I want to press Shift D, pull it out, like so, press P, selection, just to separate that off. And now I should just end up with this, which is exactly what I want. Control A, all transforms, right click, set origin to geometry. And now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pull this out. So if I grab this, so L to grab it all, and then E and move it along the Y-axis, I should be able to move it like so. And now finally what I want to do is I want to pull this bit out. So if I press 1, we can see roughly this is where it's coming because it's the same as obviously this plank would behind it. So what I want to do now is press E and pull this out like so, trying to keep that actual curve. So I'm going to pull it out to probably maybe like that. Maybe that's a little bit far. Actually, I'm going to go back and leave it at that. Okay, so we've got this. Now, what do we want to do with this? We want to come in again, Control A, all transforms, right click, origin to geometry, add modifier, and this time we're going to bring in a solidify. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the solidify the other way. And then hopefully I should end up with something like this. This is exactly what I want because I want it to cover this part here. Now we're going to have a bit of a wall in here, but I need it to be above the tiles here, as you can see. Now don't be afraid to actually bend this a little bit if you need to. So you can press R and Y just to bend it a little bit more and then kind of slot it back in place. Also, don't be afraid to actually experiment with dropping this down and up. In other words, apply your actual solidify, so Control A, apply that. And then what you want to do is you want to come in, Alt Shift and click on this part, and then coming over to where this is, what's it called? Proportional editing. Put it on smooth, so on smooth, like so. And then what we'll do, now what we can do is we can bring it up and down on these parts wherever we need them. So in other words, if I come to this one, so Alt Shift click, and then just bring it up just a tad like so. So it's just in front of those. And I think that's looking much, much better. Now, the thing is, I can see that it does need pulling back, probably behind there, because I don't think, but I think that on this bit, actually, rather than having this bit across here, I think there should be a piece of wood coming up here, and that then will make it go together a little bit better. But before we do that, let's actually finish with this. At the moment we've got this and we want to actually make it look a little bit more wonky. So what we'll do is we'll come in A and then we'll go to Mesh, Transform, Randomize, and then turn it down to 0.2 or 0.1. 0.1, let's try that. And then what we'll do is we'll also add in a bevel modifier, turn it all the way down and then up maybe 1 like so. Now what I want to do is I want to copy the material from here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab this one, Control L, link materials, and then I'm going to come back to this, tab, U, smart UV project, click OK, and there we go. There we've got our piece of wood, and that's looking pretty good. Now I can simply come on over, Shift D, duplicate it, and I can also put it into here. Now you can see that this is going to be a little bit too far over on there, so what I want to do is I want to put that into place around there, just so it's level with this part here. And we can also see now that this is perhaps not quite low enough on the end. So we can see now it probably needs dropping down a little bit like so. And this one will probably need dropping down a little bit like so. And we can also see now that this needs to be made a little bit smaller. So what I'm going to do is press S and Y, shrink it a little bit, and then drop it into place like so. Double tap the A, and there we go. That's looking much nicer. The thing is though, I've actually lost some of the length there. I'm going to actually grab it again, Shift D, bring it over. Yeah, and it's just because it's a little bit bent, this part over here. So no problem. What we'll do is I'll grab this part with face select, and then I'll come in with proportional editing on. And what I'll do is I'll bring it back and bring it up like so. And it makes it look a little bit uneven anyway. Yeah, and I think that's looking pretty good, except this roof tile. Not happy with the roof tile, so S, Y, bring it in. So these roof tiles then, just touching this end, and that looks a lot more realistic than what it did. Okay, so that's looking pretty nice. I'm happy with that. I think I might move them just a tad over. And there we go. Okay, so now let's grab another plank of wood so we can put a plank of wood going up here. So we'll do that now. So what I can do is I can get rid of this and I can get rid of this one. And then what I can do now is I can go to my asset manager again. Let's put it onto shader. Let's come down to, let's go to our current file. Let's go to wooden blocks. And let's then go to how tall is it going to be? Let's come to the 2 meter one first. We'll do that one first. So R, Y, 90. And what I'm going to do is I'm probably going to make this a little bit bigger. So S, making it a little bit chunkier, like so. And I'm going to bring that then up to there. And I want it into the top. So you can see here, it's just going to fit like there with this bit going into it. So in other words, this is not wide enough yet. S and Y, make it a little bit wider, pull it over. That is exactly how I want it. Now, the one thing I don't want here is the fact that this is going to be popping through the roof. I really don't want that. So I'm going to press S and Z, bring it down, drop that into place there. And that might fit much, much better. Still might be a little bit high, as you can see. So let's bring it down, SZ, bring it down a little bit more. Yeah, and there we go. I think that's going to look much, much better. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring that then over the other side. So Shift D, bring it over the other side. And then what I'm going to do now is spin this around just so it doesn't look the same. So RZ, spin it around 180 because you've actually changed the scale. In other words, it's longer this way. You don't want it. If you press RZ 90, you'll see it's the wrong scale and this bottom bit is not going to fit in. So just make sure you do that. And then what we can do is we can use, let's see if we can stretch one out going along this top part. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a 3 meter one and I'm going to put it against there. And then what I'm going to do is stretch it out. So S and Y, let's pull it out. And I might need to put that in there like so. And I think with this, I'm going to have to re-unwrap it because I think it's too much stretching. And I think actually this is probably the longest you're going to have a piece of wood because I don't think realistically having very, very long piece of wood is a good idea actually. I'm going to drop it down a little bit so it fits in place like so. Now let's come over. Let's go to our UV unwrapping. So UV, Smart UV Project, click OK. And let's now go to UV editing. And we can see, if I zoom into there, that I'm going to have to make this a bit bigger. So S, make it a little bit bigger. And I think now that's looking much nicer than it was. All right, with the top bit along here though, I'm actually just going to use a few parts here. Maybe I'm going to pick, it's going to be one going into here, then one going into here. Maybe we need to pick these up a little bit to fit all this together. Again, as you build in, don't worry about you know, having little parts here and there. It should look like that anyway. It's better if it does. So let's go back to modeling. And what I'll do is I'll use this part here and I'm going to pick this up, Shift D, let's pick it up. Let's spin it round. So R, Z, 180, and let's spin it R, Y, 90. And the other thing you can do actually is come to Object, go down to Mirror, mirror on the X global axis, and then that will mirror it around for you as well, which is also a good way to mix up your UVs. Okay, so let's put this up here, and I want this going, let's say to the top of here, like so. And then what I'll do is then I'll bring another one of these. Let's press 3 and just see how much the gap's there. Yeah, the gap seems fine there actually. Let's bring it over just a tad like so. And then what we want now is one going across here and then a little bit on here. So let's grab, let's see what we've got. We'll grab this one here. We're going to press Shift D. I'm going to bring it up. We're going to press 3, like so. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to slot that into place. I'm going to press S and Y, just make it a little bit thinner, like so. Let's put it back into place there. And yeah, that's looking pretty nice. And then what we'll do is we'll bring another one. So Shift D, let's bring it over. RZ 180, spin it round. And let's make sure it's going to fit in there. So S and Y. Let's put that into place like so. And that's also looking good. Let's drop them both back just a little bit. Okay. Now we want one more piece of wood. We have a very small piece of wood here. So let's grab that one. So I'm going to press Shift D. I'm going to bring it up. And I'm going to slot that into there. Just back a little bit. Like so. Again, randomness is always good. Okay, so now let's figure out the walls. So let's just check the time. Yeah, actually, I think we'll do the walls on the next one, because we still have a fair bit of work actually to get this done. We have this to put in here. We have these little, pieces of wood to put in here. And then, yeah, we have the top bit to go around here as well. So a fair actual bit of work. I think with this top bit as well, we'll actually work our way around here as well. And we might even create a window next and put some little bricks in. I think that would be a good idea at this point. All right, everyone. So I'm going to save out my work. And I'll see you on the next one. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.